I am a psychotherapist and trainer and supervisor, and I come from Italy. I live and work in Rome. My work mainly is as a psychotherapist, and I would say the major part of my time as I work as psychotherapist, and very often during the weekend I transform myself in a trainer and a supervisor. So I run training in my own institute, TA Institute, and very often I travel among Europe and not only Europe for giving training in TA. And more often also university or school, like secondary school or primary school, ask me to work with them and train their own teachers and sometimes also parents, knowing how much TA is effective with children, with family, and with parents. And a very small part of my work, it also with organizations. What I like most of TA is that TA has so many easy concepts that can be understood by normal people, ordinary people, and they can use in their whole life to change maybe dynamics or to stop, to reduce better, playing games, etc. So it's really fantastic. It's touching for me when I see that.
Yeah, it's wonderful to see that. And I know that you're very active in TA community, and I hear now how much you enjoy and love TA.
Yeah.
So how long are you in TA community, and how did you get interested in this field of psychotherapy?
So I met TA at the end of 80s as client, and I fell in love with TA. So I wanted to find an institute where I could be trained and became a psychotherapist. And after that, I met EATA, and I wanted to give back something, because I think that I received a lot from TA. So I wanted, and I still want, to give back something as gratitude to the scientific community. So I worked for EATA. I have EATA as supervising examiner, and now, even though I work with EATA, I'm proud to work for ITAA. That is the International Transactional Analysis Association, and I'm proud of it because it's been founded by Eric Byrne. So it seems to me that I am more linked to him.
So
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? How do you use TA in working with children?
Yes, I would say first that I have the luck, the fortune to meet in my training, during my training, a person that was my trainer and my mentor, that was a pediatrician and a neuropsychiatric. So she used to apply TA to children. So during my training, it was so easy for me to see how it's possible to apply it to children treatments. And it's very usually very ordinary for me to think in this way. And then I realized that it's not so common among the world and among the TA world. So I started to run workshop and training more specifically focus on treatment with children. And because I'm convinced that TA is incredible effective with children and with results, with outcomes, very quickly outcomes, both on children and on parents. So I would say that I begin to work with children in TA frame of reference since 90s, so more than 20 years ago.
Yeah. So lots of experiences.
Yes, yes, and a lot of evidences.
Can you maybe give us some concrete example how you use TA in work with
Yes, yes. I think that one of the main concepts that we use with children is script. So we know that each of us has his own story that built every day. So to work with children allow us to jump in the script. And in the phases of life that the script is not so fixed. So using stories with animals, stories coming from the drawings, we can work on the script of the child. And the child can have redecision, changing the end of the story. So I think that it's under our eyes to see a child that come in the room, therapy room, with a story and change completely at the end of our treatment. So it's a simple way, but it's under our eyes. So with children I use a lot to play with them and to play the games that they like most. So I try to be attuned to the style of the child, their desires, they way to do. And in this kind of alliance, the child showed to the therapist a story and what are the weak point of the story, the weak point of the script, and also what are the strengths. So the possible solution, the options, I would say. And it's like a trip, like an adventure. So I feel I am a mate of this adventure with the child, and sometimes he or she shows me the way, sometimes it's the opposite. So it's a kind of a co-creation method to work with depression. And I would underline this word because many times it's difficult to say that we have depressed children. But at least in Italy, I know for sure that there are many depressed children. Sometimes the depression has a different dress. We imagine a depressed person without energy, very sad, and it's not always in this way with children. Sometimes we have a very active child and sometimes they receive the label of ADHD. It's in English, right? Yeah, and it's not. They are depressed. So I want to show through drawings and stories of clinical cases how to work with depressed children. Children with a lot of anger. Under that anger, they are depressed. So I think it's good for us to have the possibility to work also with parents. And maybe the problem that the child is bringing belongs to the whole family instead of to him or her only. So we have a way to work that can include also the parents using the contract. So this is another important point for us. So in my experience, often parents act from the child ego state, thinking that they are acting as parents. And I see many insight they have. Sometimes I use the micro recording, the video recording, so they can record the interaction with the child, and then we can watch them together, and they realize what they do, and they were not aware of it.
I know you have a book, I know it's about TA and working with children, and I know it's in Italian, unfortunately for me. Can you maybe say something about what it is about in the book?
Yes, so it's 3 different parts in it. The first part is more about theoretical aspects. So, because I think that TA can be applied to children, but not as it is. We need to have a little bit some changes in it, like for Alliance about ego states model, about contract, about phases of treatment. So in the first part of the book, I explain a little bit that. And the second part is more about clinical cases. I don't like so much to call clinical cases, but I would say stories. So the reader can see a treatment from the beginning to the end. And the third part is a collection of reflection about the cure, about trauma. So
interesting. I truly hope I will be able to read it someday. And I also know that you're preparing another book.
Another book, yes.
On Italian.
In Italian, yes. I'm preparing another book in Italian. Again, about children and trauma. So we are working on that. I'm not alone in this project. So there will be a part on trauma and also a review of literature on that, and what TA can do with traumatized people. And a third part, it seems that 3, it's a good number, a third part about stories of children.
Interesting. Interesting. So thank you very much. And final question that I know that Ukrainian people would like me to ask you. is what it is that you like in Ukraine. What did you found interesting for yourself, or what did you enjoy in staying here?
I enjoyed a lot of things. I enjoyed the place. I've arrived to Kiev, and I did not imagine it was so beautiful. And churches, many things. I saw the monastery, the river, so many things, and the underground. I like the underground. Yes, the station of the underground. It seems crazy, but there is one full of mosaics.
Wow.
Yes, my free child enjoyed a lot that. And food.
Food,
I don't like many kind of food, but I found here something that I like. I don't know the name exactly, but anyway, I had a beautiful dinner here.
We will imagine whatever that is for us. Yes.
Let me say at the end also, Ukrainian people, very, very warm, very welcoming. So I like a lot Ukraine.
Thank you.
Thank you.